The Detroit Lions are set to release defensive end Za'Darius Smith. Smith was acquired in the trade deadline deal to help bolster the pass rush. He wound up providing modest production for the Lions defense throughout the remainder of the regular season and into the postseason. Here to discuss the move is Lions on SI publisher John Macaroon. John, what do you think about the Lions' decision to move on from Za'Darius Smith?
Yeah, it's not terribly unexpected, right, Christian? You look at it, and we did articles on Lions on SI indicating where the Lions could save some cap space. And the two candidates potentially that were the leading candidates to be cut were DJ Reader and Za'Darius Smith. He was due a $7 million roster bonus at next week. And you look at it, it would have probably cost up to around $11 million to keep Za'Darius Smith on the roster for next year. Now, some are indicating maybe there's a chance he could come back on a cheaper deal. It's possible, but, he did go to social media and thank Detroit. I do think that he was a class act along the way. But you look at it, at the trade deadline, I think that, the veteran was just not as able to be as impactful without without the presence of Aleem McNeil. So while he did, rack up a couple sacks and had some impact, I don't think it was to the degree that helped the Lions defensive line get over the top, especially against the Commanders. And I do think he was schemed out of that contest. So look, the veteran had a solid career. It'll be interesting to see if he does resume his career in Detroit or somewhere else at a more affordable rate. But, his time in Detroit, I do think that he acclimated well. I thought he was great in the locker room. But in terms of overall productivity, you're not going to replace an Aiden Hutchinson. But when Aleem McNeil went down, it just made it that much more difficult for Za'Darius Smith to do his job. And I do think that expectations were, I think, in line and reasonable for what he could do. But the Lions defensive line and the overall defense just suffered so many injuries that it became really tough against the Commanders, especially when you lose one of your best cornerbacks in Amik Robertson in a key game. So while Za'Darius Smith, I do think he had a solid career. I think that his time in Motown probably has come to an end. And I do think that with the addition of bringing back Marcus Davenport, with the opportunities to look at free agency and the draft, it may be that the Lions are looking to go in a different direction to fill the void at the edge rusher position.